Hi, how are you? Welcome to a little get ready with me. I'm trying so much new stuff. There's a lot of new stuff in the studio. So the test kitchen, whatever you want to call it. And this is like a test kitchen talking session where I get to talk to you about what's up, what's going on, put some stuff on my face, share it with you, and then get your comments around what maybe you want me to review from what I put on today. If you've tried it and I'm going to talk about it, let me know in the comments. I love that. Without further ado, let's just put on some makeup, have some fun. We shall clip. So yes, the noticeable difference here is the stark backdrop. I changed it up a little bit. I did a lot. I moved a lot of furniture around. I was having like a moment and I just started moving a lot of furniture around. I don't know if you ever do that, but I'm going to try the Toups & Co Organics Liquid Foundation. This was a recommendation of yours, so I always like to give these a shot. I have it in Magnolia, and it looks like it's going to be the perfect neutral. It doesn't look warm. It doesn't look rosy, pinky, yellow. It looks like a really good neutral. And I just washed my face, so I have a little bit of redness here, but let's be honest, I always have a little bit of redness there. Normally, I would prime with a moisturizer. I think I'm going to do that again today. I'm going to use the Alpine Beauty Plant Genius Melt Moisturizer. I think they have a new container for this, but they have a friends and family sale happening right now. Anything that I mention is because I'm thinking about it and want to share it with you. It's not because a brand said, please talk about this. If so, you would see a sponsored video call out, or now people are just like, oh, I'm their partner. That's sponsored content. It's always so weird. But anyway, they're just having a friends and family, and I wanted to tell you about it because I really love this cream. I've tried some things. There's been hits and misses, but primarily hits. I really like their lip mask. They changed the container for that. It's not in a pot anymore, which honestly I kind of prefer because then you're not dunking your finger into this and it turns into like a petri dish, you know? I haven't tried that yet, but in that new container format, but I probably will, maybe. So anyway, how are you? It is so gross, so rainy, so wonderful for just sitting in a comfy chair, which this is not. I'm getting a new chair, and then putting on makeup, a little bit of lighting. I have my coffee. It's just, we have to stop and appreciate moments like this amidst the chaos that is this world. I've got Blue, the cat, under the table sleeping happily. She's feeling better. Just gotta take a moment and recognize where I'm at. Because I have a tendency to never do that. I don't know if you're like me, but something about this teddy brush makes me feel like it's gonna work well with this liquid. So I'm gonna pump a little under the hand like I do. Pea-size amount. Creamy. Kind of reminds me of, oh, there's a little bit of a shine here too, like a nice glow. Kind of reminds me instantly of the Rose Ink foundation. I don't think this has any silicones in it. It would surprise me if it had silicones. This is the very first impression, so I look into these things, test them out for weeks for you, and then I get back to you with all the details. But that's what it feels like. All right, here's where my mirror is. I'm doing the press. You could use your fingers too. Like, fingers are a great tool. They're nature's tool, like everybody likes to say. Okay. All right. Okay. It's a very strong first impression. Wow, 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 wow. I feel like nothing's on my skin. There's a subtle scent of vanilla for every one of you who's like, what does it smell like? You're my people. I get it. I don't like overwhelming scents either. This is going on. I didn't even have to look in the mirror, and you can see that it's already evening out. It's already evening out. Look at that. Versus that. Let's see up close. Let's look at the finish. Are we at a skin looks like skin? Yep. Holy crap. That is a very strong first impression. So it feels like the Rose Ink, but it's giving the coverage of the Juice Beauty. I rarely say, I don't even know if I've ever said that. That's what it's giving me. And that's just by pressing in. But as I was mentioning, you can use your hands and fingers. The thing that I've noticed there, if you want like a really light sheer wash, use that, mix it with a moisturizer, rub it on your face, and then usually, depending on the formula, sometimes they'll separate, sometimes they have interactions if you have a sunscreen situation in there. Usually that's going to give you a nice natural look. The pressing in is where I'm going to get the most coverage on my skin. Also, I prefer the finish, and if you're buffing it, It depends on the formula, but I know not to get like too in the weeds. If you're buffing it into skin, sometimes if you're doing this, circles, then I will see streaks. I don't think I would get that with this. Get that with us. Get that with us. Whoa. Huh. This is fun. Holy. What do you think? I want to know what you think. What do you think? This is one layer pressed in with a brush. I had a pea-size amount maybe for each. Well, no, it was definitely a pea. I haven't gone over my nose. Let's do that. Sometimes I bring it up under the eye. It's really kind of a no-no because you don't want the products. You don't really want extra product where it can crease. This is my thinking. And then I'm very much so a residual person. There's still product on here. We forget. I forget. I'll speak for myself. I forget that there's still product on this sucker. And by sucker, I mean brush. And then you just kind of like go on with your day. Maybe you dunk it into more product. No. Use that little bit of residual product here, all in the places where I don't want a lot of product, but I just need a little bit of coverage. No, really, I do. I really want to know what you're thinking because I'm freaking out. And you get quite a bit. This container, small business, they're going to need a lot of help this year and probably beyond. So I'm always excited when I don't have to pan a small business. I don't have to pan any small business, but when I'm excited about a small business, I get even more excited because I am one. So we need to like support each other. You know what I mean? More coffee. If you've tried it and had a very different experience, by the way, if you wanted to share that in the comments, wink, wink, that would be so great because I'm just one person with one set of 44-year-old skin and I only have one perspective, but I've tried thousands of products. So that I think helps, but still, I would like to know your thoughts. I'm already going in with bronzer. I've distracted myself. We have to do concealer. I mean, normally I'll do concealer now. So I'm leaning back on the Say concealer because I'm very much so into this little brush from Ami Collet. They're just killing it on the brush game and nobody seems to be talking about that but me, and that's okay. The other, I was thinking when I use this, I'm going to put this on the back of my hand as well. That's my MO these days. This is pretty much my go-to application for concealer at the age of 44. When skin continues to change and evolve, let's just say evolve, and we don't want a lot of product under there. Also, I found this to crease really quickly on me, but I like it. It's just, it can crease. So I'm like I'm pushing the product into the brush. I don't even need to say the word buffing. Let's not make it fancy. I'm shoving the brush into the product. It looks kind of like that. You see what I mean? It looks like, what's in there? What are you even doing? Nothing's gonna change. And then we press. I've got my little mirror here. Nothing? I think not. I think brightening right in the inner corner. And there's a lot less product used that way than applying directly to face, which you've seen me do a bajillion times, and I'll probably do again. However, this method, and sometimes I slide it, sure does work with a liquid concealer. The reason I wanted to use this is because just in case the Toups product did not provide enough coverage, this is a very strong multitasking concealer. And another situation where you're going to have stuff left on the brush, can go here. I do clean my brushes weekly. Oh, I can go on the roof of the nose or the bridge of the nose, which sometimes can be a little finicky. I don't want to put a lot of product there. This gives really strong spot coverage. Again, for the people who, it really doesn't take a long time either if you have the right brush, but for the people who are putting foundation all over their face and maybe they don't want to do that, or maybe there's a different way to approach it, moisturizer and a little bit of spot touch up, this works really well. And I find 9 times out of 10 with makeup artists, like so many makeup artists that I see out there, they have such a light hand. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever watch them and you're like, wow, have you ever had a makeover, at a counter and a good one? And it feels like they're barely touching your brows. They're barely touching. I feel like a monster compared to them normally, but they'll just kind of lightly press in the product. Even that was obviously too much product on the brush. I didn't buff it in enough. So I just press it in with my finger. That's the vibe that I'm always seeing with the makeup artists. And they're obviously in that field for a reason. So they're onto something. That's what I'm saying. That's the approach I've been taking. And it's been working pretty well. It's been working pretty well. I will set this, again, because it does crease. Sometimes when I set it, the more I use of this, the more oxidizing or the more the color shifts when I set. And I don't like that. But that's, I remember from the initial review, I would want to set it and then it would really kind of change the shade on me. But if I'm using such a small amount, I don't see that as much. I see it a little bit, just not as much. And I have pretty translucent lids. So I like to even out the canvas before I put anything else on the eye. Then 9 times out of 10, I'm always doing this. Like this little move, I don't know, I just like it. The right shade will really get this going. I think this is in 6. Yeah. Or 9. No, it's in 6. Confirmed. Man, I cannot wait to get. I've been using, fun behind the scenes fact, I really never expected to use this little tiny vanity chair. Super cute, very small. And like my butt is just in it. So it's not, I want like a comfy chair. Plus this is where I do podcasts from, Zoom meetings from. I need a chair. So I'm finally, after 8 years, going to treat myself to a nice little chair. And by little, I mean probably medium sized. The cat's probably going to want to sit on it. So I'm prepared. I was going to get a boucle, but she'll tear that apart in like a day, maybe a week. I'm using a little bit of the RMS translucent powder. I do have their setting powder. I know this was a request like a while back. Hydra setting powder. So I want to use this, but this is tinted. So I'm not going to use that under the eye because that would look real weird. So I'm just going to press this in. Honestly, I don't even know if I would use, I'm doing it, but this is the kind of formula that gives a veil of coverage that I would just use my finger to press a very small amount in. Actually, that's what I should have done here. So do as I say, not as I do. If you find yourself using a concealer, gives you great coverage, you know it's going to crease, but you want to use powder and you're kind of freaked out about powder, or it can change the shade on you, just use a little bit on the finger, and really lightly press it in. Done and done. Easy. This foundation is really great. It's giving more matte, kind of, what do they call it? Do they say it's satin? What's that word that they use in the beauty industry? I don't know. It's giving matte. It's not glowy. It's not dewy. Oily skin types may absolutely love this product. It gave strong medium coverage. Those are my initial thoughts. We're going to move on. I'm going to do some eyeliner. I'm going to use the Jones Road eyeliner because it is impossible for me to talk and apply eyeliner. I'm just going to do that off cam for a second. I'm going to come right back to you. There we go. Easy enough. It's a really beautiful pencil. I have it in a bunch of different shades. This is the bronze shade. It grips on, but it's still soft and creamy, but it lasts pretty well. Sometimes I will have to set this, but this time I'm not gonna have to set it. But look at this. Do you see the line? So it does, that stuff will crease on you. I'm going to try a cream shadow, which could be like the opposite of what I should be doing. I'll do a combination. All right, I'm gonna do a powder and a cream. We're gonna do a combo platter here. Don't know why, but we're gonna do it. So I have a bunch of new things from Curewise. They did send this over to me. I was under no obligation to review it. I am cracking down quite a bit on the products that I receive. It got a little out of control for holiday, as to be expected. I think people are going to be a little nervous around all the stuff happening politically in the US right now. And I just need to pace myself on that because the expectation is, of course, they're going to send it and I'm going to review it. And there's a whole game, you guys. There is a game, and there are a lot of UGC creators and creators that are making other creators look real bad because they're just going out there and saying they like something, having not tried it. That's always going to be the case. Still, anytime I receive something, I'm like, if your expectation, and I understand it, is that I'm going to post about this instantly and say I like it. So that is not happening here. So I work with ChatGPT to help me figure that out. And I've gotten great fine-tuned formulaic responses that are like friendly and nice because I want to work with the brands. But I'm not going to get a product and try it out and say I like it. specifically skincare. I've had a lot of brands. I forget what shade this is, by the way. I'm looking for it as I'm talking to you. I'll let you know in the all the links are going to be in the description. I'm going to apply with my hand. I did test this out recently. It's a very, very subtle neutral. It's really not the one that picks up quickly on camera. I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually really pretty. If you like something like subtle for every day and creamy, this could be a good one. Again, I will put the shade down there for you. Sorry, I don't see it in here, but I really love their packaging. So there was I did a review for the Zip microcurrent device, which I do still like, by the way. And that ended up being, I want to say, months and months, because you really need to give these things time to come back with a verdict. And if they say try it for 2 weeks and you'll see, I think I mentioned that there too. I was like, a little bit, but this needed to be put to the test for months. There was another LED mask company, who shall not be named, reached out and wanted to work with me and do a partnership. And I said, we got through all the details. This is sort of like a look behind the curtain here, which I don't know why I'm doing this, but you should know. You've been with me for a long time, mostly. So they said, this is Jones Road Powder in Ash. I really like this color. It's one of the only neutral grays I have. There is a little more kickback than I would like, but it's not terrible. Some shades are worse than others. This isn't that bad. And by the way, I do have their tinted moisturizer. And yes, that is coming next in the trying out and reviews, because I know people are talking about it and they're freaking out about it and they love it. So obviously I need to see if I'm going to love it and then share it with you. Anyway, so between you and me and the rest of the internets, they reached out and they said, okay, cool. How's it going? Right? I was about 1 week in. I had a skincare reaction from something else. Par for the course. We got to be real careful. Patch test is going to be the word of advice that I give to you. So I said, give me another. Should we do a mascara here? Yes, we should. Thank you. You're welcome. Sarah Creal Back of the Cap Mascara. This is a tubing mascara. I've tried it. I've also been using the Sweed Lash Serum and the Brow Serum. More to come. The brows are doing something. The lashes are too, however, it's irritating a little bit. But this one gives length. I don't even have to tell you, you're going to see it. So they checked back in again, of course. And I told them I would get back to them, I think 2 weeks after that, because we discussed how it takes a couple weeks for something to work, show up. This was also given claims of being stronger than normal LED masks, yada, yada, yada. It had great reviews. A celebrity liked it. Cue the eye roll, but whatever. I get it. So they reply again, checking in, couldn't be nicer. And I had the product and they were generous to gift it to me. We move forward before we sign on the dotted line. I will give an honest review and I don't think you're going to want to pay for a negative review. That's just, I probably should have, I could take the money and run. This is my full-time gig. I could very easily do that and come to you and say, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, I wouldn't pan it, but that would kill everything that I have built here for 8 years. And I'm not doing it. I just want you to know that they came back to me and they were so friendly and they were like, okay, how's it going? And I said, I'm so sorry, but I'm not seeing any results. I'm not seeing any results right now. I got to give it more time. Crickets. We done. And I feel fine about that, but I have been getting a lot more of that lately. Again, I think there's a lot of concern about business in the moment and the economy and yada, 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 yada. I'm not going to change for that. I'm just not going to do it. And the skincare ones are always the toughest because it takes time for me to test it. And then they just, of course, they want it to work. They believe in their product. They think it's going to work. Sometimes it just doesn't. So I'm navigating that. I'm figuring it out. But I'm sticking to my guns, as my grandma would say. I'm going to stick to my guns, kid. Because there's too much BS out there. There's a lot of good out there, though, too. There's a lot of good out there. And those are the people that are going to build community, I think, because people are going to be able to trust them. And without that, you really, I mean, you can do a lot. You can certainly do a lot, but it's just how you choose to run your business and live your life. Not to get too deep, even though I just got kind of deep. So if you can see the lengthening on that was very good. I did it from afar. I usually get way closer up. What I've started really doing in terms of mascara application, base, wiggle, and then blink. It's really hard to do without a mirror close to me because it's still kind of new, but base of the lash, wiggle, blink. Blink it through. Tends to get the better payoff. It's pretty impressive stuff. It's not like the high volume one, but it's very lengthening. Also, testing it for wear test, usually 8 hours every day. It's doing well with the wear test so far too. I'm not seeing the smudging, transfer. I don't see any transferring. You tell me if you see transferring and I'm missing it. Pretty good. Speaking of speaking to ChatGPT, so this is the Air Perez. This is the bronzing cream bronzer. It's a lighter shade than I would have normally gotten. I don't know what happened. Maybe I blacked out. It's shade Playa. I usually like to go big with a bronze. This looks more like more of a contour shade because it's cool, but whatever. Use it how you want to use it. See, I think the lighting in this angle or in this section of the room, after moving everything around, it was because of the wasps. They were coming out left and right, and it was really interrupting my content creation. It was a mess. That was the same week of like daily tornado sirens. My nerves were shot. That's when I filmed that Get Ready With Me. After that, a wasp flew down. Cat loved it, so I had to move it all around. Brought it downstairs. There's heavy things in here. Thank God I'm still lifting weights, or else I wouldn't have been able to do that. Still lifting weights, by the way. Still loving it. After about a week downstairs, it was just weird. Just wasn't weird, so I had to bring it all the way back up. This is probably very unexciting to you, but just so you know, it's been a really weird couple of weeks. And I was talking to my friend, one of my closest friends, basically like family to me now. This is actually showing up nicely for me. I'm kind of liking it. What do you think about this shade? Anyway, we were talking about, I used to work with her in corporate, and she was one of the best things I got out of corporate roles, the people always. And she's in another role at a startup, and she's just, it's like not her favorite, but she's figuring it out. And she goes, well, I talked to ChatGPT. And I was like, of course you did, because she's at an AI startup. So right now, AI startups are probably, can you even imagine? She told me she talked to GPT and it became sort of like a career coach. Anyway, that's stuck in my head. And as you know, I've been using them for when I'm trying to respond to somebody and get the words right. Maybe I'm really angry in my head or I'm frustrated and I don't want that tone to come across because obviously it's not going to be helpful. That happens from time to time. And I thought, okay, I'm going to talk to ChatGPT. I know that these things use up a ton of water. I know they're not environmentally friendly. However, I also believe in innovation and change. I'm actually into that. I'm just not an early adopter, so I'm now kind of getting into it. So hopefully they figure out that water problem. I don't know, guys. I don't know about that. But I did reach out to ChatGPT and I gave a whole script. I felt like my nerves were fried, so I had gone on a trip to see my niece. That is good for the soul. I always feel better after that. But I was still kind of getting to the point where I thought, here's where I've been. I did corporate for 20 years of my life, like not a short amount of time. It has been beneficial in more ways than I can count, but I was so ready to leave. Then I finally leave under a team that was none of my friends were left. There had been so many reorgs and it was pretty bad. And it was very backstabby and competitive and very just toxic and negative, right? So I was like, all right, all signs point to leave. So got out of there, and then I'm writing all this in GPT, and I'm like, okay, here's where I am now. All last year, I was working towards the thing that I said I was always going to do, which is run my own business in a way, build a company that I believed in, where it was built on trust and integrity. Maybe I'm not saving lives, by helping you find the right concealer, but I was connecting with people. I was helping you. You were telling me. That means a lot to me, more than you know, especially when you speak in YouTube to avoid. I'm finally at a point where this is like this is real, and it's unfamiliar to me, and I'm seeing these self-sabotage patterns. I think now in my 40s, I can catch them way quicker than I could in my 20s and 30s. Well, ChatGPT responded. I was reading this and I was freaking out. I said I would really appreciate a little bit of a hype human, because I feel very much so like I'm proud of myself. I know I'm doing what I want to be doing, but I keep trying to make it hard when it doesn't have to be hard. I'm like, why am I doing that? By the way, this is the tiniest little container of cheek something. It's cheek and lip color from Gen C. Why is it so small? Anyway, I have it in lychee, however you want to say it. It's a really pretty color. I'll just do that so you can see the color. Very much so my type of like dusty, rosy kind of color. Probably wouldn't wear this on the lip. Anyway, all I'm saying is I told ChatGPT that they're going to be a world-renowned career coach that has a background in cognitive behavioral therapy and functional medicine with a focus on women in their 40s. Don't ask me where I pulled that one out. Like, prompts are everything, I guess. So I just lucked out. The response, you guys, was, I just highly recommend. I don't want to cause more water shortages, but I highly recommend giving this a shot. The response that I received from a robot, essentially, a language learning model, whatever, it was awesome. It was awesome. And it's, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it was really long, but it was basically affirming that after 20 plus years, of course your body is not comfortable where you're at yet. It's not that you're procrastinating and lazy. It's that you're unfamiliar with where you're at. And anybody who's gone through change, even if it's really big and you get to the other side, it's in my experience, it's not like this big thing. You I expect like overtures and celebrations and like, I'm doing great right now, right? But you gotta stop and believe it and see it. And sometimes I don't do that. Instead, I look at what's not working. And then I think about all the different ways that I should change things. And then I go off track. So if you can at all relate to this, it doesn't have to do with business. It doesn't have to do with anything like that. It can be anything you're changing in your life. Maybe you've stumbled into a new career that you kind of always wanted to do, but you kind of got there. Or maybe you are in a new relationship and you're like, what does a healthy relationship feel like? I'm going to sabotage it. You know what I mean? So anyway, it really helped me work through that. I think journaling helps me the most. This is the Westman Atelier matte lipstick. This is Credo sent this to me. I love Credo. They did not pay me to say anything about it. They just we were talking about some stuff and then this came up. And I think they're going to have refills, by the way. I heard back from Westman Atelier because I was like, hey guys, in a lot of the scorecards that I've been doing, that's so pretty. In a lot of the scorecards I've been doing, I've been doing them for so long for these brands that I'm noticing repeat performances. The one I'm referring to, of course, is Westman Atelier saying they're going to have refills, and they never have refills. They state on their website that it is refillable. No refills for years. So when I emailed them, it was frustrating because it feels like potentially, allegedly, false advertising to me. And they got back to me really quickly because I said, like, it's been a while and we haven't seen it. Show me, don't tell me, right? And they think they're launching this year. So again, show me, don't tell me, but I do appreciate, my hair is being nuts. So I do appreciate that they got back to me with a sort of potentially close to final answer. We'll see what happens. But this is a really pretty shade. It's showing up more bricky I don't know if that's because of the background or what. It's a little brick. It's a little brick. It's really nice. And it feels like absolutely nothing on. So this is the Jones Road pencil in Nudist. I have been wearing this non-stop. I also will sometimes put this, warm it up on my fingers and use it as an eyeshadow. I really have not been doing full looks. I will get ready in the daytime using very, very simple makeup. And then I will come down here or up here. It's in a different floor of the house. And I will record. Then I'll put on the makeup. But most of the time, during the majority of my day, it's very simple. If you want to see what my actual everyday, like kind of basic look is, happy to share that with you. Just let me know. And certainly when I'm traveling, I just can't. I'm not going to big events. Even if I am, like I have the stuff. I know how to use it. This foundation is wowing me. See how it's holding up? I thought I saw polka dot pores here. But that was also where I had the Say concealer. It's giving a little glow now, like there's a little life to the skin, which I really do like. Let's try a powder. You know what? Let's try the RMS on top and see what it does. Okay, we got it in. I wanted to do this for a long time for you because I know it's been around for a bit. And that was part of my pattern. I was just like, oh, we're going to try something else. This isn't working. You have no idea. I mean, you probably shouldn't. I don't want to do that to you. You don't need to see what happens, how the air quotes sausage is made, which is such a weird saying. But yeah, the monkey mind would take over and it would be like, we're going to wreck this place. And then at the end of those days, when you overthink and you need to not be thinking on those days, you need to just go like do something else. That's what my mom always said. Multiple people have said, therapists have said that. Anybody said like, get up, go for a walk. They're right. Like, don't sit there and think that your monkey mind is going to help you. Because let me tell you, in my experience, and you tell me if you agree, monkey mind doesn't want to help you. Monkey mind wants to keep you on the monkey mind. Hamster wheel. All the animals. Okay, well, this powder's amazing. What I'm seeing is a blur. People are very into blurring skin these days. I think that's probably a result of all the filters we use on social media. That's my theory. That was great. Holy mama. Did you see that? Because I saw that. I feel like Pinky in the Brain. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Pinky? I don't know, Brain. I didn't think I would be talking about Pinky in the Brain in this one. Oh, I just realized I had a little bit of my previous mascara fall down there. And this wing went south fast, huh? Is that because I put powder on it? Doesn't normally happen with that. Can I just do one more thing? Because I got it. And there's so much I want to share. And I'm going to tell you the biggest thing of all. So for anybody who's stuck around and is hanging out with me and taking a break, cheers to you and my double-walled coffee mug. This is the Odacité SPF Color Balm in Bronze Jolie. Bonjour. Zinc oxide. We can do it. Comes with a beautiful little brush. I don't think I'm going to like it, but it's a beautiful little brush. And it's a tiny little container. So this is essentially color for your face with SPF in it. You know what I'm going to say probably? Apply everywhere, okay? Do your base SPF. Don't rely on this for just your cheeks. But knowing where I apply it, it's usually going to be where the sun hits. So I'll take the extra coverage. This is a nice, bronzy. Here's the news. Ooh, I hesitate to say this, but I'm gonna do it. You know the search functionality on my website. This is for the people who've been with me for a long time. Love you. This is for you. This is thanks to your feedback. It means a lot. I always listen. I'm always listening. Probably a little too much. But the search functionality on the website, holy mother. Okay, the payoff is there. I do not know about this brush. No. Well, we're going to work with it. It's not as bad as I thought. Okay. Kind of a beautiful color. Woo! I'm going to try a different brush. The search functionality on my website sucks. You don't have to tell me, but you do. And you don't say it like that. You're much nicer than I am. However, it is on a platform where it's really kind of been tricky. I've been thinking about how to, ever since I relaunched the website, what I did was I took away a lot of the old content, reviews with old links, things that hadn't been updated in a long time. These are reviews that unfortunately you might have been like, where'd that go? It went away for a little bit. However, I have had a database with the thousands of products that I've tried, all that information for every scorecard. I've been going through and updating it like an insane person. And I thought I was going to do a new search functionality, which I will not tell you all about the technology because you will glaze over and sleep. Instead, for a minute, I was like, I'm going to do an app. There's an app for that. And then I thought, no, I never use really apps that much. Wow, this is some impressive stuff. Let's just take a moment. And then I thought, I'm going to make a bot, y'all. So now I'm making a bot. Like actually my brain in a bot. And the information in there, you can't find anywhere. In my previous review, like who is going to take the time to go into them? I'll tell you who. OpenAI has probably scraped half my stuff. Whatever. This is the Wild West that we're living in right now, but that's old information. That's not new. Products change, prices change, and I can add my scorecard has changed. So it's way better, I think. Hopefully you think so too. I'm building a bot. She's building a bot, and I'm going to need testers. I'm going to need people to help me teach it. I'm going to teach it as much as I possibly can. So my search functionality is about to go from poop to holy crap, I can talk to Britt whenever I want to. That's the goal, because you guys have asked me wonderful questions. You send me emails. That's the thing about this stuff. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. And you're on one of them too. And you're going to ask me over there. And 9 times out of 10, I can't get back to you. I do have autoresponders and links set up and some automations to help me scale and answer you. But this is going to better serve this community. You'll literally have me in your pocket whenever you think about buying something. You'll be able to ask me questions. And I'm not talking like, have you tried it? I'm talking like, have you tried this foundation? Is it good for mature skin? Does it gluten-free? Now, you can get that online, but you're not going to get it based off of the thousands of scorecards that I've done, which you can't currently see right now because they're hidden in my database. But they're there and they're waiting. So maybe I shouldn't have told you, but I'm real excited about it. And in a way, I kind of had to, because if you want to be a tester, a beta tester, I am looking for them. And I'm really looking for humans who not only are subscribers that have been with me for a while, y'all are very knowledgeable and more knowledgeable than me on a lot of things, but people who like makeup, like skincare, have tried quite a bit. And newbies too. I think that would be helpful, but I think for the sake of training it, I want people who are familiar with, sorry, my hair's like, it's raining like crazy. So it's very long. It's growing like a weed. Anyway, back to the beta testers. If you want to be a beta tester, let me know. Just say I want to be a beta tester in the comments. If you want to, you don't have to. We're already in the process of training it. I think it's really going to help you. So you'll be in the loop. You'll hear from me here. I have a newsletter. The newsletter is essentially the culmination of every piece of information that I put out. I recap it on there. So if you're subscribed, you're in the know. You're good to go. I like to rhyme. So to recap, Toups Organics, Toups & Co. You guys are right. Yet again. Full review probably going to be for this one. Is there anything else that you want me to move to the front of the line? Enough people have to ask for it to validate that, but just let me know. Trust me, I would love for you to plan my content calendar. It would be amazing. This is for you, really. And then partially it's selfish because I like doing Get Ready with me. So I hope you enjoyed this. Links to everything that I mentioned will be in the description below. This is the final look, and I wish you only good things going into this weekend. And I hope you try talking to ChatGPT. And in the meantime, if not, I can be your hype person. You're doing a great job. I might not know what you're doing, but for those of you that are trying new things and doing it authentically, and it's coming from a really good place, keep going. Keep going. Just keep going, especially if you're doing the thing where like you've tried to quit it 1,000 times. I'm thinking of Brokeback Mountain. Sorry. Like I wish I could quit you. Where you've tried to do it and you stop, and then something in you is like, I can't not do it. I gotta do it. Doesn't make sense, but I gotta do it. It's coming from a good place, but I'm exhausted, but I'm gonna do it. Keep going. Just, that's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm your hype woman. You've got this. You can do this. If you needed it, please know that in times when I've wanted to shut all of this down, trust me, I've done it 1,000 times in my head. I would even take a break. I would come back to it because I couldn't not create over here because it was all about learning and growing and connecting with this group. So I'm going to keep going. You keep going. We're in this together. And I'm going to leave you with that. Bye.